Greetings people of the internet, it is I, Knuckles Productions 360, and I just got done watching the Sonic Movie 3. But before I dive into this film, I'm going to give you my honest opinions on the first two films before dealing with the third film. And before you ask, first time when speaking about the third film, there will be no spoilers, and then there will be spoilers afterwards. So don't worry, you won't get spoiled in the first half, so after that, click off the video and go see the film anyway. So, the first film. Now, if you're probably wondering why am I talking about the first two films instead of diving into the third film? Well, I just kind of feel that maybe perhaps I need to address my thoughts on them. So, here's my thoughts on Sonic 1. Despite the design fiasco that went on behind the scenes and all sorts, and the backlash that changed everything, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I mean, I wouldn't call it groundbreaking. I mean, after multiple rewatches, it's not really that massively special, but for a first film, I think it's pretty good. I mean, there are some really good highlights in it. I love Ben Schwartz's Sonic. I think James Marsden plays a really good character in it, named Tom. And I love Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. I mean, come on. This role was suited to play him. It was brilliant. And I like how it's a bit of a origin story for both Sonic and Robotnik. And it gives us a little bit more of a hint into what to expect for, say, a Sonic sequel with more references and maybe some more characters. Which, what we got in, of course, the second film. We not only got Tails, Knuckles, the introduction to the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds, and also we got a proper game-accurate Eggman. The red coat, the bald head, the mustache, and of course, the Eggmobile. It was an amazing film. And then there was some wedding scene that nobody really asked for that was incorporated into the Sonic movies that really just dragged out and was really boring. Then they included Bruno Mars's Uptown Funk. I hate that song. But all seriousness, the best scenes in those films are the scenes with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman and Stone. They were brilliant. And I got hyped for, of course, the third film. Now, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts, my spoiler-free thoughts on this. So don't worry, you won't get spoiled. So let's dive straight in. So, honestly, I love this film. My god, I think this is my favourite out of the entire trilogy. It was perfect. Perfect. Down to the last little detail. They focused more on Sonic than any of the other human characters. This is the true Sonic film. It is brilliantly well done. I love the characters. I love everything. I love Sonic's character arc is brilliant here. I love how also Tails and Knuckles get a lot more to do. That's not a spoiler, by the way. And it's a proper fun film. They do Shadow's character justice here. He is brilliant. Keanu Reeves is amazing as Shadow. He is breathtaking. And then you've got Jim Carrey playing two different roles in the film. You've got him playing, of course, Ivo Robotnik, but you've also got him playing Professor Gerald Robotnik. And I just think that's just amazing. And you've got the other cast members as well. You've got James Marsden and Tika Sumpter returning as Donut Lord and Pretzel Lady. I know they have names, but I like those names. You also have, of course, other new characters into it as well, along with some oldies, but honestly, this film's perfect and amazing. Hell, I even got this popcorn bucket, this metal popcorn tin bucket, just to remember the occasion. And if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a 9.9 out of 10. The only flaw I will say with the film is that maybe perhaps some of the comedy isn't as funny, but that's my only flaw with the film. Just go see the film. Just go see the film. What are you doing watching this video now? Go see the film, stop watching spoilers, and just go buy a ticket and see this movie. This movie is awesome. Don't go see Mufasa, see Sonic 3. Okay, now for the spoiler-free bit. So if you haven't clicked off this video yet, then I suggest you do that. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1, spoiler time. Okay, so I can't believe that Wonder Whipple shows up in the final battle to use the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds to turn into Super Wonder and to take down the Robotniks once and for all. Such a great twist into modern cinema. Tricked ya. That didn't happen. No. That did not happen whatsoever. Here's what really happened. So, honestly, I love what they did with Sonic. As I've said before, it was really well done. The kind of him becoming this leader type character to lead his team, how he kind of goes off with when Shadow shows up, he kind of just dashes on forward and just clashes it all out. And speaking of which, I love what they did with Shadow. Now, I've heard a lot of people debating about his backstory and how they've altered it a bit, because they've removed the fact that he wasn't created on the space colony Ark, or that Gerald created him. But instead, they said that he came from a meteorite. Obviously, because in the Paramount version of Sonic, they're like aliens. So, yeah. And honestly, I'm fine with this, to be honest, as a backstory, as long as you incorporate the core elements of Shadow's character, then I'm all fine with that. And then there, of course, is moments like Tails' gadgets and all of these amazing things, Knuckles being epic. And I gotta say, they get a lot more to do here. I was a bit worried when I watched the trailers that they wouldn't get a lot to do, but everyone gets something to do. And the old characters are all great to see. They're all memorable, they're all funny, and they're brilliant. I love Robotnik and Stone's dynamic in this film. And I love that Stone interacts with Sonic and Tails. I thought that this was brilliant to see. And, seeing Eggman interact with Gerald was actually something quite cool. And honestly, I love Robotnik's sort of story in all of this. It's kind of heartfelt. That he basically was, well, not really... He wasn't accepted by the world. And that he didn't really have a family. And you do kind of feel for him. Which is really saying something. And they also... I was a bit worried when I heard that Jim Carrey would be playing two characters, both Ivo and Gerald, as I thought that, well, they would basically be the same. But surprisingly, they're actually not. As Gerald is a lot more serious about what his plan actually is, being completely destroying humanity while also taking him along with them. Which really doesn't annoy. Which annoys Robotnik, who just wants to rule over humanity. But I gotta say, I loved... Oh my god. The action was amazing. The fight with Super Sonic and Super Shadow was amazing. Seeing all of... It felt like something out of Dragon Ball. It was unbelievable. And Oh my god. The game music. We finally got some game music in this film. It was peak. It was amazing. There wasn't as much licensed music in this film as I thought there would be, which I actually think that's a good thing, because I feel like that was the biggest problem with the Knuckles show. It was crammed with just licensed music and just not really a good story. But they've also listened to the feedback from everyone. The wedding scene, well, that's no problem anymore. In fact, the human characters barely appear in the film. They appear, but they actually are used sparingly. And I actually prefer this. They're used at the right moments. Mostly, I would say, till the very end. And it's perfect. The finale is amazing. Not only we get Live and Learn. Oh my god, I was cheering in the cinemas when they played Live and Learn. I literally lost it. I could not. I was just amazed. It did bring a tear to my eye seeing it for the first time. It was breathtaking. I loved Shadow's character. I think that it was all perfect. Really, I honestly have no flaws. This movie was amazing. They nailed the characters correctly. The cinematography was very well done. The shots they used was amazing. The more world building they add to it is very interesting. Although frankly, there are some questions I still have. Like, for example, what happened to the Chaos Emeralds? How did they end up back in the Master Emerald? Where did Robotnik get that giant metal crab thing from? And of course, well, how come Stone's not infiltrating Gun? Like, how? Like, I originally thought that, oh yeah, Stone would be the one to release Shadow. But no, apparently it was Gerald. They kind of set this up in Sonic 2's post-credits scene where they showed Stone wearing the GUN uniform. I obviously thought that this would perhaps maybe him learning about more of Shadow and then getting close enough to deactivate him. But then also, another thing I want to bring up, they don't even bother to explain how Eggman survived the Death Egg robot battle. Like, that massive fall that would have killed him. And I thought they would maybe in a prequel comic, but they still haven't released one. Which I'm kind of annoyed at. I would have loved to see that. But I got to admit, the game Easter eggs were amazing. They were just brilliant. Not only did we get Shadow with his bike and also a gun, we also got game accurate Eggman, which looks amazing. I hope we get a figure of that. Please, Jack Specific, can you make a figure of game accurate Eggman from Sonic 3? I need that as a figure, along with Agent Stone. And oh my god, the references don't just stop there. There's just so many. I loved the montage scene with Gerald and Robotnik. I thought that was probably my favourite bit. There was Eggman Land as a reference. I mean, even in the trailers, I was wondering what the hell kind of thing was going on there. But I loved it. Oh my god, I loved it. So, overall, I think I've just said why I love the film so much. Besides the flaw of having maybe a little bit... Like, the comedy does fall flat in some areas, but I don't care. This movie was amazing. I'm definitely going to buy it on DVD when it releases. And watch it on streaming. So, I'm giving it 9.9 out of 10. So, I will see you guys in the next video. So, bye guys.